This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Nice opening. Hello, everyone. Welcome to DBL. It's Wednesday, October 14th. Hump Day.
Yes.
Middle of the week. I'm Tori here with Al, and Lindsay is joining us from home. Lindsay, how you feeling?
I feel good. How you guys doing?
Good.
All right.
I want to let everyone know, yesterday they mocked my dress as a Christmas dress. My father called me, and he's just like, Lindsay and Al's timing was terrific. So I wanted to let you guys know.
I love your family so
He's
much.
so, like,
Well, the
formal.
fact that I was blocked because my internet didn't want to let me be great, and then I joined midway through the conversation and still heard you guys, that made my day.
It was, my father was like, Lindsay in particular. Good timing. All right, well, we have Amy Coney Barrett. Remember her? She is back in the hot seat for another day of very tough questions. A moment that has people talking is her answer when she was asked if she can be impartial about Obamacare. Take a look.
And I think, Senator Durbin, there's actually something you and I agree on here. Judicial activism is bad from either side. And no matter what somebody's policy preferences are about the ACA, I completely agree with you. They shouldn't be trying to undermine the policy that Congress enacted.
Another buzzworthy moment. This I have been asking for years, and it's an interesting philosophical question. Can a president pardon themselves?
I can pardon myself.
You can't.
I can say pardon me.
But that means nothing.
But you can do it.
Okay. Can he legally pardon themselves? Here's how she answered that, the smart woman.
Senator Leahy, so far as I know, that question has never been litigated. That question has never arisen. That question may or may not arise, but it's one that calls for a legal analysis of what the scope of the pardon power is.
So this is a very interesting question. First, just I want to get your reactions on that. Linz, how do you think Amy Coney Barrett's been doing, the questioning, and that answer to can a president pardon themselves?
I think that she's been doing as well as she can. Her disposition is really just this calming energy. I know everyone thought she was going to come in there and impose her views, but she said something that I thought was really important the other day, saying, I'm not a queen that's planning on imposing my personal will onto the country. And she's not here to kind of quell all the personal problems that we all are having, but she's going to abide by the law and try to enact each thing that she can, really looking to that book. And so I think that if she is planning and promising the country she's going to do that, we should give her the opportunity and space to, be an honest woman that we're going to believe is not going to impose things like religious views on some of her decision making.
Yeah, I do want to say and push back a little, Al, and just say, well, if a president can pardon themselves, and President Trump has elected these or appointed these three, at some point he can sort of cash that in, is what people are worried about, as a pardon if it goes to the Supreme Court. I think that's what people are worried about. But do these hearings really mean anything to the general public, to you?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think people are going about their lives. I think people, and I think that's kind of dependent on, in terms of all of politics. I think a lot of things go on in committee hearings that no one ever hears about, and all of a sudden there's a law you didn't know existed when you go down to pick up your check or do whatever, go about your life. So I think that there's a reason that these are airing at a certain time. I think that there's a reason that there's not a lot of pushback for the amount of rush.
Yeah,
that this is what are we trying to do this in 16 days? Would you, if you were buying a home?
Yeah, I know.
Would you do that in 16 days? It just seems rushed. But she's saying the right things, and like Lindsay said, she does have a calming presence, and I think that's winning people over.
Yeah, let us know who you think will play her on Saturday Night Live. I'm going with Cecily Strong, maybe. Okay, interesting take. Thanks, Al, for your nod.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, Brianna.
Sounds like one of my former students.
You're the worst. She's on SNL. She's very funny.
She still could have been one of my students.
We're moving on to some more serious topics here. This is very interesting. Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, is finally sharing his side of the story. Okay, he says they were laying in bed. This is, by the way, an interview with Gayle King that's exclusive, watching a movie, when they heard banging. Walker insists he fired his gun because he thought there were intruders. Take a look.
You all did ask, who is it?
Several times, both of us. And there was no response.
You know, the police say that they said several.
Sorry about that. He also talked about how he found out about Breonna's death. Let's take a look here.
When were you finally told that Breonna didn't make it?
I never really got told, like, directly. I saw it on the news.
That's how you heard Breonna Taylor died, on the news?
Pretty much.
All right. This interview, I think, will change a lot of people's minds, in my opinion, especially finding out that he asked so many times, who is at the door, who is at the door, and that 11 out of the 12 people in the building also said they never said police. Now, Detective Cosgrove, on the other hand, says he announced himself for 1 to 2 minutes. That is a discrepancy that needs to be answered, because right there, there's a huge problem. Lindsay, what do you think of the trailer for the interview?
I mean, I thought what I watched was heartbreaking. We all know Breonna Taylor. We've been saying her name. Her name has made national headlines, covers of magazines, and it's almost like it's come from a woman that we were protecting and wanting to make sure we protect black women in Louisville and around the country, and turned into this national story, and even worldwide story. And we have to remember there are people here, families that lost their daughter, Kenneth Walker that lost his girlfriend, and I know in the interview he said, that was my best friend. And so when you break it down to that level of human to human interaction, you can remember that even with all these national stories, this is a human being life that was lost, somebody who essentially was innocent, and in my mind, because of the Louisville Police Department dropping the ball, her life is gone.
I totally know what you mean, because he does break it down for Gail, Al, and says, if you were in bed and you heard huge banging and then kick in, and you hear him on the 911 call say, someone just kicked in my door and shot my girlfriend. He didn't even know it was police at that point on the 911 call. How would you feel if you had a stand your ground law and thought maybe someone was intruding? You don't know, but you grab your gun and you take your shot to protect you and Breonna.
Well, nobody knows, Tori, but I'll tell you what everybody does know. Everyone that's watching this program right now has been lying in bed and heard something in the kitchen, heard something fall, and it might not be a gun, but you grab a bat or whatever, it's something to go see what's going on down there. So to have your door kicked in, and you have a gun, you only have, what are you supposed to do? Hope that it's the police? Like we're leaving the world of politics and just talking about how human beings react. Yeah. And I think that when we really honestly ask ourselves, what would you have done? It would have been the exact same thing across the board, and I think that's a bipartisan answer, if you're being honest. If you're being honest, and also please know no drugs were ever found at the home. All right, quick story here. Have you voted yet? If you have, you're in good company. Get this, more than 10 million of you have already voted. To help put that in perspective, by this time in 2016, only 1 million voters had cast a ballot. But if you've not yet voted, would a call from Oprah motivate you? That's what happened to people in Texas. Check it out.
Yes, Master speaking.
Hi, this is Christian. This is Oprah Winfrey. It really is Oprah Winfrey.
But I just want to confirm, is this Oprah?
This is Oprah Winfrey.
Holy smokes.
I like that. I like old school phrases like holy smokes.
Holy smokes is such a, we need to bring that back. Holy smokes. Lindsay, you and I go goo goo gaga. What would you do? I would freak out.
You know, I would just throw the phone. I literally would freak out. But then I would think somebody's pranking me, somebody who has like a good acting voice. Right. So I don't know. I would hate to be on the other side of that prank and it's just a good actor. But I would probably go crazy.
I would go in the shower. I was like this. I would ask what Stedman's middle name is.
Oh.
To like make sure it's Oprah? What? To make sure?
That's a good vetting question. I don't know about you. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm a selfish human. But I would hang on the line after I told her who I was going to vote for and just wait for like a trip or something. I'd be like, you can just call me just for voting. Come on. I've seen your show, Oprah. Give me something. I need a ninja blender.
She's like, Al, look under your seat right now. There's a car key. That's amazing. Lindsay, stick around. Coming up on DBL, nearly 30 years ago, a woman vanished without a trace. But will a new tip help solve the mystery? That's later in True Crime Chronicles. Plus, mail carriers are making major headlines, from a federal investigation in Pennsylvania to a postal hero who saved a man. We're telling you all about it. And of course, we got to thank our coworkers. They're producing the show from home.
Like me?
No, you're here.
Oh, cool.
Hey, we'll be right back.
See yourself.
Well, Today on DBL, Selling Sunset star Christine Quinn. Viewers love to hate her, but what does she really think of playing the villain?
All of my favorite Disney characters were all the villains.
That's today on DBL. Welcome back to DBL. We're in the thick of mailing. Is that how you say that? We're in the thick of mailing in ballots for the election. And meanwhile, police in Pennsylvania are trying to find out why. So this is really interesting. A mail carrier dumped at least 2 trash bags full of mail onto the curb. The good news here is that no ballots were actually in the bag. Again, no ballots were there, but it does have people asking, are you worried about your mail? Linz, I'm going to go to you for this. Are you worried? It's taken a while for you to get some mail to your family. Am I right?
Yeah, a long time. And, you know, even when I was doing local elections, at first I was thinking about running up to, like, the mail person or when I saw them to give them my ballot. But I'm like, let me just mail this or go drop it up in person just because I'm a little bit worried with all the conversation around it. I know that the numbers actually don't show that we should be that concerned, but it still is something where I want my vote to actually count and end up in the right hands.
Especially this year. And please, and if you're in California, make sure you see the actual seal on the ballot box. There's been some confusion and that needs to be taken care of.
Do you think maybe Lindsay's mail's been delayed because she's been running at letter carriers that do not know her? There's a woman charging me. This is the woman that's on her face is in her office. I know this woman.
You know, I was thinking about, as I said it, the point was that the mail lady was all the way at the end of my block, and I really wanted to get the mail, and then I realized, wait, just go drop it off. But I was really running down the street to catch her, which is probably not right. You should not approach the mail people.
I love that. All right, Al, this is for you. If it seems like all the stories you've heard about the Postal Service are scary this year, here's one that'll make you smile. This is Fernando Garcia. He was wrapping up his shift in California when he heard a loud scream from a house nearby. Turns out it was a 70-year-old man who cut himself on a chainsaw. Fernando jumped into action. He used his belt that he's now holding right there in this photo as a tourniquet until the ambulance arrived. Now Fernando is being called a hero.
Yes.
Anyone who does a tourniquet is like, you are cool.
And
You're
also,
steady.
we're all, you guys at home are watching this and we're in a comfortable studio. I'm sure what the scene that he rolled up on was full of blood and screaming.
And terror.
And for him to keep his wits about him, good on Fernando. He might also be another potential EMT.
Absolutely.
Double duty.
The idea of being like, here, I have a belt. Let me take it off, wrap. Like all of that has to take
My contribution would have been panicking, screaming, where's an adult, where's an adult?
You are an adult. Okay, a big shout out to this Indiana mail carrier. He can deliver the mail and the moves. That's right. He's going viral for dancing with every single delivery. Of course, all of it is caught on doorbell cameras. I feel like this would be me if I were a mail carrier.
Yes, and that's why the mail would take 4.5 weeks to get to wherever it's going.
It's going to go slow, right?
Yeah, a little bit. They call it snail mail for a reason. But I mean, look, I love this. Like, we need a little bit of joy every once in a while. Anybody dancing that's going to go to other people, then Lindsay's going to giggle, and her laugh is infectious, and it'll go. It's all a thing.
Lindsay, we want to show you something. Al actually took a shot at being a mail carrier. We have some video here for you. This is Al as a postal worker, looking incredibly uncomfortable.
Thank you, Lindsay. Look at me handle that truck. Now, I did some work with the postal work.
Look at that whipping of the wheel.
Thank you. And the wheel's on the other side. So I was like James Bond learning how to drive this thing.
Oh, God.
I'm just letting everybody know. We all watch football. Sometimes your starting quarterback goes down. But I have my helmet right here, Coach. I'm ready to go in the game. Put me in the game, Coach.
Nobody wants you.
Al, if I saw you driving a mail truck, I would run the other way, okay? Just letting you know, I definitely wouldn't
making it safer for other letter carriers you're charging.
Granger, over there. All right, coming up on DBL, this young woman's mysterious disappearance decades ago could actually be close to being solved. Will this new tip help? That's next, coming up in True Crime Chronicles.
Hi.
Welcome back to DBL. Dale Dinwiddie was just 23 years old when she disappeared after attending a concert. Nearly 3 decades later, could she still be out there? Here's today's True Crime Chronicles.
Dale Dinwiddie was living in Columbia, South Carolina. The 23-year-old had a big family and enjoyed going out with friends.
Hey, look at my lamb mug.
It was September 24th, 1992. Dale was at a U2 concert that night with a group of friends. After the show, they went to a bar called Jungle Jim's. She was seen leaving there in the early morning hours and was never seen again.
A mama never rests when any of her children is not known to be safe.
For years, Columbia police chased tips and leads, but nothing turned over.
This is an active case. This is a case that I can't call cold because it is being worked on every day.
It's now been 28 years, and still no sign of Dale.
20 years after the abduction of my child, I still cannot rest easy because I don't know where she is.
Police released this time progression photo of what Dale would look like today, hoping someone might remember something.
I'm not willing to say that Dale is deceased, like I'm not willing to say any of the cases that we have until you give me something conclusive.
Police call it a bizarre disappearance, and all it takes is one person to say something.
Is this person so much smarter than her mama, her daddy, her brother, her friends, the media, the law enforcement authorities? How can we all get together to find Dale?
Earlier, Jeff and Sam spoke with a news anchor in South Carolina who's actually worked closely on this case. Take a look.
We are joined by anchor J.R. Barry from News 19 in Columbia, South Carolina. Thank you for joining us. Now, it's been almost 30 years now since Dale went missing. Give us the latest, and has any progress been made in this case?
Little progress right now. As you know, when people go missing, there's a ton of leads that come in. And back in 1992 and over the years, maybe 5-10 years afterwards, the leads were coming in hot and heavy. But as the years have dwindled on, so have those leads. They haven't been coming in, but local law enforcement, they tell us they're still working this case. It is still active. It is the missing persons case that is the oldest on the books here in Columbia, South Carolina. So while the leads have dwindled, guys, they are looking for additional tips as they come in.
Now, JR, police are convinced Dale was kidnapped. In your years of covering this case, do you agree, and does her family believe she is still out there?
Oh, absolutely. We all believe that she was abducted, taken somewhere. There was some hope early on as this all started to unfold that perhaps Dale was out there on her own somewhere. But according to family members and all the friends and law enforcement, Dale Dinwiddie, quite responsible young lady at the time of her disappearance. So for her to go missing, this is just simply not something that would be in her wheelhouse. So they believe foul play is involved here. And again, all these years later, still looking to solve this mystery.
Wow, every parent's worst nightmare. And you know, JR, I had heard that the parents and the family members and friends, they are holding out hope that they at least will get some answers. They just want closure. One suspect named in this case is Ray Rivera, who, by the way, is a convicted serial killer who's on death row. Why was he named a suspect?
So Rivera went on his killing spree in 1999 and 2000. He killed 4 women in the South Carolina, Georgia area. He's on death row, as you know, serving that sentence there, waiting to die for one of those crimes. But as it turns out, he was actually living here in Columbia, South Carolina at the time Dale Dinwiddie disappeared. Local authorities, they have gone to the prisons. They've talked to this suspect at length. But so far, as things stand today, they have no concrete evidence to connect him with Dale Dinwiddie's disappearance.
Wow, chilling. I pray that the family gets some answers.
Some sort of closure.
Yeah,
yes.
I can't even imagine.
No.
JR, thank you so much for bringing this story to light. Thank you for the latest on this case. Now, to the viewers, to learn more, visit WLTX.com. You can also listen to a new podcast episode about Dale's disappearance. Just search True Crime Chronicles on your favorite podcast player. Thank you, JR. We'll be right back.
Promotional.
Country queen Dolly Parton is looking back on some of her favorite outfits. We're chatting about them in DBL's Fashion Forward, sponsored by Poshmark.
No.
Dolly shared her most memorable outfits with Vogue magazine. Check out her iconic 80s look from 9 to 5. Man, that's a great movie. She picked these dresses because she felt like a city girl, saying it was the first time she ever felt fashionable. Next up, her iconic white dress she wore to the premiere of her 1984 movie Rhinestone. She told Vogue she remembers having to look real good because her co-star Sylvester Stallone was, quote, hotter than a dually.
I like that.
I do too. I don't know what it means, but I like it. Lastly, her bedazzled gown at the 61st Annual Grammy Awards. She says her outfit and performance of Jolene, Jolene, Jolene with Miley Cyrus is one of her most memorable since, you know, she's Miley's godmother, after all. When it comes to fashion, Poshmark is your shopping destination. You can list, you can sell, you can buy millions of looks online. Check out Poshmark.com. I use Poshmark all the time, just so you guys know.
You
Lindsay,
were just breaking it down with
I was just
Poshmark.
breaking it down. Linz, do you use Poshmark as well?
I haven't used it, but I gotta tell you guys, I'm the biggest hoarder, and I donated 7 bags of clothes last week, and I feel like 20 pounds have fell off of me. So it's good to do some spring cleaning in the wintertime. That's my suggestion to everybody.
Slow clap. That's a great call.
I think 7 bags is more than that. I don't even think a donation center would take that. That's too many clothes. That's weird.
Excuse me, Al, it was nice dresses like this. You know, I've been in TV for a long time. It's a lot of things that I paid for, Tori knows, until they came out with other services like Poshmark, where I can get stuff in rotation.
7
Al
bags
doesn't
is a lot.
understand because he
We're
wears the
proud of
same
you,
gray
Linz.
suit.
We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. We're new every day. Bye, guys.